helping you to weather good and bad economies without putting retirement on hold. This is the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo. Ken and his son Nick know that creating a comprehensive financial plan can align your hard-earned life savings with your retirement goals. Consider them your retirement architects. Now, the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo.
The idea of income, obviously, priority number one from every plan that you build is how are we going to generate income from our nest egg? And even for folks that have saved $1 million, $2 million, Social Security strategy is an important part of every income strategy that you build out. So trying to figure out when somebody should take Social Security, that can be complex enough. But what about adding a spouse who might be of a different age and is no longer working? Now you've just made the claiming possibilities even more complicated, which is great to know because as if retirement planning isn't complicated enough, guys, here comes Social Security throwing a wrench in the wheel. What should we know about spousal Social Security benefits and how do you help couples figure this out?
Yeah, and I'll go briefly touch upon it because there's so many rules at Social Security. There's over 2,000 laws and regulations at Social Security. Yep. There's stuff with like widow. There's stuff that looking at spousal support. There's even strategies that we like to talk about taking Social Security earlier versus later, what makes sense. So just to briefly touch upon the spousal piece, usually what happens with the spousal piece is if there's one person that's the breadwinner and one person that's the stay-at-home parent. And what happens is that breadwinner might get, I don't know, we'll make up a number, $4,000 a month at full retirement age. And that other person, the stay-at-home parent or even the part-time parent that went to work a little bit, their social might be only like $1,000 a month at full retirement age.
Okay.
What happens is with the law is if you both take it at full retirement age, the spousal benefit gets bumped up to half of what the breadwinner gets. So because the breadwinner is at $4,000, the spouse would end up getting $2,000 a month. Mm-hmm. So that's an extra in that situation. Like I said, he or she was getting $1,000 a month. Now that person's getting $2,000. So they're getting an extra $1,000. Yes, this changes depending on when you take it. If you take it earlier than full retirement age, there's a bigger penalty. But that's things that we kind of work through when we build out that Tumolo retirement checkup, that planning, because that spousal support kind of ties in. What I want to talk about is timing too, earlier versus later, because Social Security, it's not just a income problem, it's a tax problem. It's a even protection of spouse problem, which that's my story I'm going to bring up right now. Okay. So I have a client, they have about $600,000 in net worth and they retired this year. And for them, same thing as what I explained, that breadwinner versus spousal. It was him, he was the breadwinner. She worked and she actually got enough that it actually worked out halfway. So she didn't get the spousal support. But the one thing was when we built out the plan, and we like to run this conservative when we built out that Tumolo retirement checkup, it showed that the money was kind of running close at the end. So when that happens sometimes, and it changes from person to person, scenario, tax strategies, you name it, because of different retirement accounts and stuff like that. Yeah. But for them, what made sense when I built out the plan was, okay, let's start her Social Security right now. So we're not dipping way too much in the 401k and taking their funds if something, God forbid, happens earlier to one of them. And then on his, we're going to delay his to 70. And the reason was he's going to get an extra 8% each year after full retirement age. And if something ever happens to one of them, they have a Social Security that has a big increase because you only get one if one person passes away. Okay. So that's where, like, in the situation of, okay, let's protect the spouse too in that situation. Yeah. So there's different ways of billing out these things. So for them, it was that peace of mind of, okay, if something did happen, that grim report that I don't like running, if something happens at 65, 70 years old, okay, the other spouse is okay. And for other people, it's different scenarios. Like people that have 1.5 million and we're worried about doing Roth conversions because they have a big tax issue at 75. Okay, let's delay socials so we can squeeze more money to do that Roth conversion earlier on. I could give story after story, different type of scenario. This is why I say it's so customizable to you, It's not just a one quick fix thing. I wish it was at times on some things. It'd make some planning simple, but then you wouldn't need to talk to me.
Right.
But it's just like it's different scenarios for everyone. Some people we want to protect the spouse. Some people we want to do some tax planning for legacy planning. And I'll even give you one more thing before I turn it over to my dad. I've seen people come in here with $250,000. I've seen people come in here with $2 million. People rely on Social Security. Pensions are dying at a fast rate. And we know it's really only in the public sector now. Where's that money coming from? The only guarantee you have now is Social Security. So what are the advantage, disadvantages to make sure that you have enough coming in to protect your spouse, to pay less taxes, and to make sure you're doing the right thing for you?
Yeah.
So if you want to call us about our Tumolo retirement checkup, we do a complimentary. Our phone number is 860-854-3434. Or you can go to our website at tfcheckup.com.
Yeah, and Nick kind of lead it to it, Heather. One of the big pieces of the Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup is Social Security timing and looking at that. So that alone is a service that we provide to listeners because it's one of the biggest questions. When do I start Social Security?
Yeah.
How do I set it up? If you're married and a couple, there's different plays. If you're single, and let's say you have kids or beneficiaries, there's plays with social too. So the big thing is it's all part of that planning piece that I was talking about earlier. You should always start with planning.
Yeah.
And coming in for that Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup, one of the things we always look at is Social Security. So we want to do that. Everything ties in together.
Yep.
I can't stress it anymore. So this past week I did a workshop and we had a guy, Nick, I think you mentioned Social Security going away or changes coming to it. But one of the questions, I'm talking about Social Security. I'm talking about the spousal benefit, talking about the slide I had
This
up
was in
there.
the workshop you were
in the workshop.
Okay.
And this one guy yells out, hey, Ken, I got to ask you a real important question. I go, okay, what? And he goes, Social Security runs out in about 10 years. What are we going to do? And
as if you have the answer. Well, let me get the president on the phone. Hang on.
Yep.
Please hold one moment.
Yeah. So all the projections that they're putting out there, I think they're saying like 2036 or something like that. But
it
I'm going to tell you
varies.
this.
I've seen 2034. I've seen 2036. What we know for sure is if something doesn't change, it will become insolvent. I think we also believe they're going to do something. Nobody just wants to be the person that rips the Band-Aid off is the problem with the politicians. Please continue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're worried about Nick not getting elected. So what I did, I'm sitting in the workshop, so I backed up about 5 slides and we had the Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup, brought that up. And it was actually a case with a couple that had a $1.6 million. But then what I did was I went to the Social Security column and scrolled to the bottom. And between husband and wife, they would have brought in over about a 28-year period of time, $2.2 million just from Social Security.
Got it.
Okay. So what I said was there's no way they saved 1.6 million, but there's no way they're going to replace 2.2 million.
That's right.
So what's probably going to happen is, let's say they took away Social Security. Whoever does that, they would wreck the United States, because think about it. People would have to cut back what they're spending. People would lose houses. It just wouldn't work.
Right.
Retirees, there wouldn't be retirees. You'd have to work till you die.
Yep.
And so that's how much we count on Social Security. So that's my argument that they have to fix it. And I don't know what they'll do. They might add an extra % or 2 in your paycheck that they pull from. They might raise the full retirement age. Who knows? But it's going to have to be addressed no matter what. And as planners, we see it every day. And we already know there's very few people that come through here. And keep in mind, we see listeners that have $250,000, $500,000, $5 million. And if you take away their Social Security, a lot of them would struggle. So no matter what you saved, it will be a hit if Social Security went away.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to ruin the United States, then you take away Social Security. So,
Mr. President, if you're listening.
But yeah, so one thing I'll add really quickly is when we're building out the planning, what we typically will do is build extra into the plan. And part of the reason why is we never know in life. Someone could end up getting sick later on in life, so they're going to need a little extra money. might be an issue with a car and they have to replace a car earlier than they expected.
Yep.
So when you're building in that plan, you're always going conservative, meaning running a low rate of return, building in extra expenses. This way, if certain things happen, you've got enough to work through. But I'm going to add the Social Security piece to it too, building that little extra into it. And this is for the people we can build extra in, because some people do cut it a little tight going into retirement. Mm-hmm. But the thing is if we could build extra in, this way, if they reduce Social Security or do something with it, they don't change their lifestyle. And I know we've said it multiple times. You work 20, 30, 40 years, you get into retirement, you just want to go. You don't want to change what you're doing because you don't know how many good years you're going to have. Think about it. If you retired at 66 and then we had a recession and you put everything on pause till 70, you just lost 4 real good years. So it's give yourself the years. Don't give the years to your employer. Enjoy it. That's my biggest message I want to get across. We help people do that. We want to get them comfortable spending. All starts with that Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup. It has to start with a plan. We do a complimentary for our listeners. Our main number, 860-854-3434, or you can go right online and go to tfcheckup.com to book an appointment.
Investment advice offered through Tumolo Wealth Management, a Connecticut-registered investment advisor. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here.